If you've ever felt that people behave strangely around you, pulling away, acting nervous, or becoming overly curious, it might not be your imagination. It might be because you're a Sigma female. This unique personality type carries an energy that stands out in silence, a confidence that doesn't need approval, and a presence that unsettles people who can't quite understand it. The Sigma female doesn't seek attention, yet she gets it. She doesn't chase people, yet they feel drawn to her. She doesn't follow social rules, and that's exactly what makes others unsure of how to handle her. They can't put her into a category. She's not the loud leader like an alpha, and she's not a follower either. She exists in her own space, strong, calm, and deeply self-contained. This quiet strength can make others uncomfortable. Some people admire her independence, others misunderstand it as arrogance or distance. In reality, the Sigma female is simply focused on living authentically. She has no need to impress or conform, and that honesty makes people see themselves more clearly, and sometimes that's what makes them act strange. If you've noticed odd reactions from others, people either clinging to you, avoiding you, or trying too hard to impress you, it may not be personal. It's a reflection of how your energy affects them. You challenge the way people see power, connection, and confidence. In this video, we'll explore 6 reasons why people act weird around the Sigma female. Each reason reveals something about both her and the people she interacts with. By understanding this dynamic, you'll see that the behavior of others often says more about them than it does about you. Reason number 1. Her quiet self-reliance unsettles others. The first reason people act strange around the Sigma female is her self-reliance. Most people are used to relationships that involve a certain level of dependence. They expect others to seek advice, attention, or reassurance. But the Sigma female operates differently. She stands on her own. She doesn't need others to make decisions, and she rarely looks for approval. When she walks into a room, she carries a quiet confidence that says, "I can handle myself." This energy throws people off balance. Some admire it, others feel threatened by it. They can't figure out how someone can be so comfortable without needing constant validation. Her independence challenges unspoken social habits. People often build their self-worth on being needed, but the Sigma female doesn't require saving, guidance, or emotional hand-holding. She's used to solving problems on her own. Because of this, others may feel unsure about their role in her life. They don't know how to connect with someone who doesn't rely on them for anything. Some people even mistake her independence for coldness. They think she's distant or uninterested, but in truth, she simply values peace and privacy. She doesn't play emotional games or depend on others to feel complete. This emotional strength can make people act awkwardly, trying too hard to impress her, or, in some cases, pulling away because they can't match her self-control. This quiet power draws respect, but also creates tension. People sense she doesn't need them, and that disrupts the usual social balance. In friendships, it can make others feel insecure. In relationships, it can intimidate partners who aren't used to that level of independence. But for the Sigma female, this independence isn't an act, it's natural. She's learned that true strength doesn't come from being loud or dominant. It comes from self-trust, from knowing she can stand alone and still be whole. That inner calm unsettles people who rely on the opinions of others to feel steady. So when people act weird around her, hesitant, defensive, or overly curious, it's often because her independence exposes their own uncertainty. Reason number 2. Her solitude feels like a mystery to others. The Sigma female thrives in solitude. She enjoys her own company, and she doesn't need constant social interaction to feel fulfilled. While others fear being alone, she finds comfort and clarity in it. But this peaceful relationship with solitude often confuses people. They don't understand how someone can enjoy being alone and still be content. In a world that praises constant connection and attention, her preference for quiet time stands out. People expect others to seek companionship, to fill silence with conversation, or to always be part of a group. But the Sigma female doesn't follow that rhythm. She can go days or weeks without socializing and still feel emotionally balanced. This calm detachment makes others uneasy. Some think she's hiding something. Others believe she's lonely or distant. They project their own discomfort with silence onto her. They don't realize that her solitude isn't isolation, it's restoration. It's where she recharges her mind, processes her emotions, and plans her next steps. Her comfort with solitude also gives her an aura of mystery. People sense that she knows something they don't. She's not constantly broadcasting her life, and that makes others curious. They want to understand her, but she doesn't open up easily. Her privacy makes people act strange. They either try too hard to get close or back off completely, unsure how to read her. Some may even feel rejected by her need for space. They think her silence means disinterest, when in reality, she just values peace over constant noise. This misunderstanding can make social interactions awkward. People who crave attention don't know how to handle someone who doesn't give it freely. What they don't see is that her solitude keeps her balanced. It gives her time to reflect, to heal, and to stay true to herself. She doesn't fear silence, she embraces it. But since most people equate silence with discomfort, they can't understand her ease. That's why they act weird. They're projecting their own unease onto someone who's completely comfortable in stillness. The Sigma female's solitude is her strength. It's what allows her to stay grounded while others get lost in noise. But it's also what makes her a mystery, and mystery always makes people behave differently. Reason number 3, her refusal to play social games. The Sigma female doesn't play games. She doesn't flatter people to gain favor, and she doesn't compete for attention. Her honesty and directness make her easy to trust, but they also make others uncomfortable. Most social groups operate with unspoken rules that involve hierarchy, gossip, or subtle manipulation. The Sigma female refuses to follow those. When she enters a room, she doesn't try to charm anyone or prove her worth. She simply observes. That calm observation unsettles people who depend on social strategies to feel accepted. They can't read her because she isn't performing. She doesn't engage in small talk for the sake of fitting in or agree with something she doesn't believe. Her silence is powerful, and power in silence can make people nervous. She's not rude or cold, she just values authenticity more than popularity. While others compete for approval, she prefers connection built on honesty. This approach is refreshing but rare, and that's what makes people act strange. Some see her as confident and admirable, while others think she's detached or judgmental, simply because she doesn't play along. In workplaces, she may seem distant because she doesn't participate in drama or office politics. In friendships, she's seen as private because she doesn't share everything for validation. Even in relationships, her refusal to manipulate or pretend can confuse people used to emotional games. What others see as mystery is really self-control. The Sigma female understands that manipulation and superficial bonding waste energy. She'd rather invest her time in meaningful relationships, even if that means having fewer of them. When people sense that she can't be easily influenced or impressed, they react unpredictably. Some respect her for it, while others feel challenged. They don't know how to approach someone who isn't seeking their approval. Her honesty forces others to confront their own behaviors. It exposes insincerity without her saying a word. And because most people aren't comfortable being seen that clearly, they respond by acting awkwardly or avoiding her altogether. The truth is, she doesn't make people uncomfortable on purpose. Her refusal to play social games just reveals who's being real and who's not. Reason number 4, her calm in chaos. Challenges social norms. When things fall apart, most people panic, complain, or look for someone to blame. The Sigma female doesn't. She stays calm, collected, and focused no matter what's happening around her. Her ability to stay centered in chaos can make people uneasy, even if they don't understand why. Calmness in stressful situations is power. It shows control, awareness, and emotional maturity. But in a world that thrives on reaction, this kind of composure feels unnatural. People often mistake her calm for indifference. They wonder why she's not worried, angry, or emotional. They expect her to react like everyone else, but she doesn't. This difference in behavior can make people act weird. Some think she doesn't care. Others think she's hiding something. In truth, she simply doesn't let emotions take over. She knows that panic never solves anything. She prefers thinking before acting. Her calm presence also exposes others' anxiety. When someone's upset and she remains composed, they start to feel self-conscious. They question why she's not matching their energy. That imbalance can make them uncomfortable. They may even try to provoke her just to see if they can break her cool. But the Sigma female's calm isn't coldness, it's clarity. She understands that emotions are powerful tools, not weapons. She knows when to express them and when to let them pass. This discipline gives her strength, but it also makes her hard to relate to for people who live in emotional chaos. In social settings, her calm energy stands out. People can sense it even if they don't understand it. They might describe her as intimidating without knowing why. It's because she doesn't match the noise of the room. She's steady while everyone else is restless. This quiet control makes her a natural leader even when she's not trying to be. People instinctively look to her for direction, but at the same time, they might feel uneasy around someone who seems unshakable. Her stillness reflects their instability, and not everyone likes to see that reflection. Her calmness isn't an act. It's her nature. She's learned that peace is power, and that no reaction is often the strongest one. It's not that she doesn't feel deeply, she simply refuses to lose herself in chaos. That kind of composure is rare, and rare things always draw strange reactions. Reason number 5. Her high standards intimidate without warning. The Sigma female doesn't demand attention, but she does demand quality. Her standards are high, both for herself and for the people she allows into her life. These standards are unspoken, yet people feel them the moment they meet her. That's why some act nervous, defensive, or overly cautious around her. They sense she won't settle for anything fake or shallow. She doesn't announce her expectations. She doesn't tell people how to behave or what to do. Her energy does that naturally. People feel they have to rise to a higher level around her, to speak more honestly, to act more responsibly. While this inspires some, it intimidates others. Those who are used to getting approval through charm or convenience struggle around her. They can tell that she values integrity and depth more than appearances. She doesn't care how popular or successful someone is if their character doesn't match. That's what makes people unsure of themselves in her presence. They know they can't hide behind performance. Her standards come from self-respect, not pride. She's worked hard to know her worth, and she expects the same level of awareness from others. When she sees laziness, dishonesty, or inconsistency, she quietly steps back. She doesn't argue or criticize, she simply removes herself. That quiet withdrawal can make people act strangely, wondering what they did wrong. In friendships, this creates tension. Some people sense she won't tolerate drama or betrayal, so they either overcompensate or distance themselves. In relationships, partners may feel pressure to measure up, even when she's not demanding anything. It's the weight of her silent standards that creates that effect. What people don't realize is that she doesn't judge others harshly. She simply holds everyone, including herself, to a level of honesty and responsibility that few maintain. Those who can match it earn her trust. Those who can't often misinterpret it as rejection. Her standards are like an invisible mirror. They reflect people's intentions back at them. That's why some feel inspired to grow when she's around, while others shrink or become defensive. She doesn't mean to intimidate anyone, but her authenticity leaves no room for pretense. Her high standards remind people that being real takes courage. And not everyone is ready to live that way. Reason number 6, her deep authenticity. Disrupt superficial interactions. The Sigma female lives with honesty. She speaks truthfully, acts intentionally, and shows up as her real self. There's no performance or pretending. This deep authenticity is one of her greatest strengths, but it's also one of the biggest reasons people act weird around her. Most social interactions are built on small talk, image, and pretense. People wear masks every day, trying to seem more confident, happier, or more successful than they feel. The Sigma female doesn't play that game. When she enters a room, she brings realness into a space that's used to surfaces. That kind of energy changes everything. Her authenticity makes people feel exposed. Without saying a word, she makes them question their own behavior. They start to wonder why they feel the need to act a certain way, why they lie about being fine when they're not, or why they pretend to like things they don't. She doesn't point it out, but her presence reveals it. Some people find this refreshing. They feel safe around her because they can finally drop the act. They know she won't judge them for being honest. But others react with discomfort. They sense that she sees through them, and that makes them defensive. Her ability to see beneath the surface comes from her intuition. She reads emotions, tones, and patterns that most people overlook. That makes her deeply understanding but also intimidating to those who fear being seen. When someone has something to hide, they often behave awkwardly or distant around her, not because she exposes them, but because they expose themselves in her honesty. Her authenticity also changes how relationships form. She doesn't fake interest or pretend to connect. She builds genuine bonds slowly, carefully, and with meaning. People who crave fast friendships or shallow validation find this confusing. They mistake her authenticity for disinterest, when in truth, she's just taking time to connect on a real level. This level of honesty is rare. It disrupts the usual flow of social interaction. It shows others what it feels like to be genuine, and that contrast can feel both powerful and uncomfortable. That's why some people act strange around her. They're reacting not to her behavior, but to what her authenticity awakens in them. The Sigma female doesn't try to change people. She simply exists as herself, and that's enough to shift the energy around her. Her presence demands truth, not because she asks for it, but because she lives it. The Sigma female doesn't try to make people act differently, yet they often do. Her independence, calmness, and honesty challenge the way others see themselves. People react to her energy in unpredictable ways because it reveals what they hide and highlights what they lack. When she walks into a room, she changes the balance. Her quiet confidence exposes insecurity. Her peace challenges chaos. Her self-respect reminds others of their own boundaries, or the lack of them. That's why people act weird. They're not reacting to who she is, they're reacting to what she represents. The Sigma female's power isn't in what she says, it's in how she carries herself. She doesn't chase approval or compete for attention. She simply lives truthfully, and that truth shifts everything around her. Some people are drawn to it. Others resist it. But no one forgets it. If you've ever felt that people treat you strangely without a clear reason, it might be because you have that same energy, the quiet strength, the honesty, the self-possession that defines a Sigma female. You're not the problem. You're simply different. Keep living in your truth. Keep choosing peace over chaos, depth over appearance, and freedom over conformity. The world may act weird around you, but that's only because your presence reminds it of what authenticity really looks like.